Hey humans, just wanted to share a little video about kind of like self-consciousness. Like, obviously, everybody, humans, have this ability to be self-conscious, right? Like, that you're living this kind of life. But because of that, you also get hijacked by the mind because um, we like to create these kind of characters. Like, for instance, someone wants, like, many people want to be viewed as a good person, right? So, because of that, like, any behavior that you do is filtered through that narrative that you created, right? So, if you want to be viewed as a good person, uh, all your interactions, the way you behave, it's all kind of um, seen through that lens. So your mind is always judging you. Like, oh, are you a good person? Like, is that action? What are people going to think of that? And because of that, it's like you live in this trap because um, obviously, if you look what you are fundamentally, like deep down, without like the fears that you've gathered, you are infinity. So, like, your being wants to be infinite. It wants to expand. It doesn't want to be have barriers. And when you start kind of living in this kind of one persona type deal, like, this is your character and this is what it does, whatever the situation is, you kind of tell yourself, oh, if this was the situation, I would act like this and this. And that's helpful in some degree, right? But it's not helpful to like your being that wants to expand forever. And that's why I mean spiritual work is important, because you can touch the limitless inside of you and just surrender the things that you've gathered and let that shine. But of course, in this world, like in physical space, we're kind of limited because physicality is a limitation. So you can't like just become like I don't know, a unicorn and fly away whenever you feel like it, because you're stuck in physical space and you're operating through a human vessel. So in that sense, you can't just like be limitless, but you still want to constantly expand through this human. So if you just have this certain one persona that you view yourself as, like as a good person, for instance, then your whole experience on this life is going to be judged by that. So, like, whatever you do, however you act, is always going to be filtered through, oh, am I a good person? Like, your mind will constantly judge you. And the funny thing is, like, what is a good person? Nobody knows because it's subjective. So for one person, it's one way, so another person, it's another way. So it's just, it doesn't make sense. And of course, like, don't go kicking someone just for fun or like slamming a door in their face. That's, I mean, that's just, I mean, common sense, obviously, stuff. That doesn't make you a good person. That just, I don't know. That just is just a good thing not to do. But what I'm kind of trying to get at is that if you are stuck in this, like, if you haven't done the deep work, basically, you don't know that your true nature because you haven't ever looked, and then you don't have that that lightness that, like, in life you're always trying to, like, how can I say this, like, defend some stance because you need to look a certain way, right? And then you have to look, make sure other people view you in that same kind of light, and you're just gonna be suffering a shit ton and be so limited. Like I used to suffer this so much before I started doing this work. Because like even in tennis, like my favorite thing, I was playing tournaments and judging myself so damn much in my own head, and not only like uh negative thoughts would come, like what if I lose this match or whatever, but you're almost like you judge yourself based on others. So like you create this fantasy, like when people are watching you, you start thinking like, what are they gonna think of me if this happens? But that's all baloney anyways. Like you don't know their view of you. Like for instance, someone could be watching you and think like, wow, this guy's really good. And another person like seen some amazing tennis players might think, oh, this is just like recreational player, or like I've seen a better player. But you can't control that anyway, so who cares about that, right? And the whole deal is, for me especially, I was playing tennis because I liked it, not what other people uh, seen me as. But since we kind of like gain like value through being good at certain things in life, and we get paid maybe for it, and we kind of fall in these traps of like judging ourselves constantly, uh, based on this or that. And it's like the suffering is endless, and you're always just trying to like, I don't know, like show people that you're good enough. But that's all baloney when you can like learn to drop this persona that you've picked up. And everyone has some kind of limits that they've set for themselves, and they judge themselves based on that. And it's very, it's such a sad way to live if you don't know what's deep down. Because like what, once you know your fundamental nature, then from there you can play any game. You can be the bad guy, you can be the good guy, you can be just floating around with whatever life gives you. It's all good because you know that, uh, what your truth is. But for most people, they've never touched that, and that's the saddest thing, because then it's like they're stuck in that character that they've kind of accumulated, and they don't know that it's like a character even. They live that, and they're trying to uphold it, and then even death is like, no, don't take it away from me, I want to live, I'm so scared, because they've never like, kind of stripped that away, right? Like you need to, uh, be willing to drop everything. And that's why like in Zen they say like, gotta die before you die, because you gotta give yourself up, because that's just an illusion anyways. You're not even this character. You think you are because you're deluded. Your mind deludes you, and it doesn't want to give that up because it's scary, of course. Like the mind doesn't know what's beyond that. So it's like, oh, I don't want to die. I don't want to give up my memories. But if you realize that you're infinite, then it's like, okay, whatever. This life is fun. This life is sad. This life is angry. Like it's it's all a part of it, but you're not like stuck in one aspect of it thinking that that's it. And that's kind of like what I just wanted to share, because I've suffered so much in that, and I can see it in so many people too. Um, they're just suffering in their life and just thinking that they're this little limited thing, and it's so amazing when you can kind of realize, what's beyond that, and just start letting go and allowing life to be, not trying to control anything really, just, yeah, being in a kind of flow state, and then doing certain things. Like if you want to go and start a business, and you can like, um, kind of create this certain persona for that, because in order to be successful you got to be a good salesperson or a good creative person or whatever aspect of the business you want to do, right? Maybe all of it. So you have to change. And sometimes it's uncomfortable, especially if you believe that you're this one persona and that's your life. You're like fighting to sustain that. And good luck altering yourself, right? And that's ultimately like if you want change in life, you got to be willing to change yourself. And most people, they don't want to do that. They want to stay the same, and then they want their situations to change. And so that's going to be tough. So you can try to do it that way, but it's like trying to lose weight by doing a diet for a little bit, and then you're going back to your same crappy food you were eating, and then you're just stuck again because there was no change. You didn't do like a fundamental change of like how uh, you approach food, how you just how you see everything now from a deeper stance, and that's the difference. So try to start noticing that first of all you kind of have this character that you're trying to uphold, and it will limit you so much, like and it's sad because you are amazing, you are limitless, and I don't know, you can do so many great things when you tap into your authenticity, and I just hope that for you, because the world needs it. It's just like we're all a bunch of little selves fighting each other for power, and it's sad. So yeah, try that out. Let me know how it goes, and have a nice day. Peace.